They weren't flashy, they weren't loud, but these bikes did something far more radical. They kept their riders alive. In a world built for speed and risk, these machines said no, because sometimes the real thrill isn't the danger, it's knowing you'll make it home safely. The first motorbike is none other than the Honda Goldwing GL 1800. This is the type of motorcycle that'll keep you alive. It's not just a touring bike, it's a safety-first engineering machine wrapped in chrome and comfort. From the moment you start it, the Goldwing takes responsibility for you. It anticipates danger before you even feel it. And in a world of stripped-down performance bikes and no-frills naked rides, the Goldwing dares to do the opposite. It's equipped with dual-channel ABS, traction control, and even an optional airbag. One of the only production motorcycles in the world to offer one. Heated grips, a reverse gear, and rider assist technology make long journeys feel less like endurance tests and more like guided cruises. Every control is designed to reduce fatigue, not increase adrenaline. Every part of the chassis, from the suspension to the fairing, is tuned for stability, not flash. And that's the whole point of this motorcycle. The Goldwing doesn't want to surprise you, it wants to protect you. Whether you're crossing states or cities, it offers an experience that's not just smooth, but secure. On wet roads and traffic, or cruising the mountain twisties, this bike works behind the scenes to keep you upright, calm, and in command. While other motorcycles may leave you hoping the road stays kind, the GL 1800 brings the road to heel. Because sometimes, real power is the power to avoid a crash entirely. But what if you left the highway entirely, and safety had to follow you into the dirt, gravel, and mud? That's exactly the challenge this next iconic bike took head-on. Number 2, BMW R1200 GS. When BMW released the R1200 GS, they didn't just build a motorcycle, they redrew the map of what safe riding could mean off-road. This wasn't a machine that avoided danger by staying away from it, it went toward it, equipped to win. The R1200 GS introduced a suite of safety features years ahead of its time. The groundbreaking integral ABS2 system, automatic stability control in ASC, and optional electronic suspension didn't just protect riders, they gave them permission to go further, climb higher, and push boundaries with confidence. Every element of the R1200 GS is designed to adapt. The suspension responds to the terrain. The traction control prevents slippage when surfaces change without warning, and the ABS helps you survive unpredictable landscapes. Whether it was loaded down with gear in Patagonia or sliding across loose gravel in the Alps, the GS didn't just survive, it protected. Riders who had once counted on luck and skill alone now had technology standing between them and disaster. Even its chassis was balanced with safety in mind, giving the GS a low center of gravity and smooth handling even when the trail turned hostile. This wasn't a sport bike or a city commuter. This was a lifeline in the wild. And the legacy? It's still alive in every adventure bike that followed. Because once you've been shown how safety and freedom can ride together, you never forget it. The GS gave riders the confidence to push further into the unknown. But what if the mission wasn't exploration? It was duty. This next motorcycle stepped up to serve those who couldn't afford mistakes, on roads where lives were on the line. Number 3, Honda ST1100. Some motorcycles are built for thrill, others are built to serve. The Honda ST1100 was never about flashy specs or headline speed. It was built for people who couldn't afford to crash, like police officers and paramedics. And when your job puts you face-to-face with unpredictable roads and high-stress conditions, your machine can't just perform, it has to protect. At the heart of the ST1100's design is balance, not just in ride feel, but in philosophy. Its low center of gravity made the bike stable under pressure. Whether weaving through traffic or handling high-speed runs, the ST1100 stayed grounded, literally. But Honda didn't stop at balance. It came with a shaft drive for reliability, tip-over protectors to minimize crash damage, and most importantly, an optional linked ABS system. Years before ABS became common in the industry, it wasn't just safe for the rider, it was safe for everyone the rider was trying to reach. This is why police departments and emergency responders adopted it across continents. It didn't just survive the ride, it made sure you did too. And when the job was over, riders often realized something else. This wasn't just a duty bike. It was a dependable companion for the open road. long-distance touring felt easier, safer, and more secure. The ST-1100 never had to shout to be heroic. It saved lives quietly. But what if you wanted that same sense of control, wrapped in the power and attitude of a modern sport tourer? This next bike delivers exactly that, without making you sacrifice your safety badge for a speed ticket. Number 4, Kawasaki Ninja 1000 SX. You don't often hear the words ninja and safe in the same sentence, but the Kawasaki Ninja 1000 SX changes that without dulling the edge. It's fast, it's sleek, but look closer and you'll see something rare, a full-throttle sport bike that never lets you fall out of control. At its core is a 1043cc engine that can roar when asked. But what sets the 1000 SX apart isn't power, it's how much of that power the bike helps you manage. Kawasaki loaded it with cornering ABS, traction control, and electronic throttle response, all tuned to step in only when needed, quietly, instantly, and without drama. Rider modes let you tailor the experience. Wet pavement, switch to rain mode, and relax. Want to feel more feedback on a canyon run? Sport mode sharpens the bike's reflexes without crossing into recklessness. And then there's the comfort. Unlike many aggressive machines, the 1000 SX invites longer rides. Its ergonomics and wind protection reduce fatigue, allowing the rider to stay alert, not just fast. It's the kind of bike that understands safety isn't just about saving you in an emergency, it's about making sure that emergency never happens. Braking confidence, throttle control, lean-sensitive electronics, the 1000 SX gives you a full suite of safety tools and hides them under a body that looks like it's ready to race. It's no surprise this bike has become a staple in the sport touring world. The Ninja proved that speed and safety can coexist in harmony. But this next doesn't just respond to danger, it sees danger coming. Number 5, Yamaha Tracer 9 GT Plus. What if your motorcycle could read the road better than you could? The Yamaha Tracer 9 GT Plus is one of the first production bikes to do just that. It doesn't just respond to danger, it anticipates it. With radar-based adaptive cruise control, cornering ABS, and a seamless quick shifter, this machine isn't just high-tech, it's high-trust. At its core, the GT Plus isn't trying to take away control, it's trying to give it back when it matters most. The adaptive cruise adjusts in real time, reacting to vehicles ahead faster than any human ever could. The braking system senses lean angle and surface traction, modulating force so you don't have to. And that quick shifter, it keeps the power flowing when you need both hands focused on the road, not the clutch. The design is also smart. Comfortable ergonomics and long-distance capability mean you stay sharp mile after mile. And the intuitive interface makes switching between rider modes feel effortless, not overwhelming. This is what the future of motorcycle safety looks like. Not slower, not softer, just smarter. But not every rider wants asphalt and algorithms. Some crave open trails, shifting terrain, and the kind of unpredictability no radar can anticipate. And that leads us to this next motorcycle. Number 6, Suzuki V-Strom 1050de. The V-Strom 1050de was built for riders who don't want a perfect road, just a bike that won't quit when the road disappears. This machine was made for remote gravel paths, loose dirt switchbacks, and moments where you're one bad choice away from being stranded. But here's the twist. The V-Strom doesn't treat safety as an afterthought to adventure. It puts it at the center. Equipped with cornering ABS, traction control, and rider-selectable modes, the 1050de adjusts itself to the terrain in real time. Whether you're carving through wet clay or navigating uneven forest roads, the bike's electronics work behind the scenes, managing grip, modulating braking, and reducing rider error without stealing the thrill. This is what makes the V-Strom a quiet standout. It doesn't scream performance, but when conditions change fast, and they always do off-road, it becomes your best ally. The frame is built to take punishment. The electronics are built to prevent it, and the rider remains in the middle, supported, but never overruled. Adventure bikes are often seen as risky business, but Suzuki didn't accept that. They pushed for a new kind of safety, not the kind that limits you, but the kind that follows you wherever you go. The V-Strom thrived in chaos, adapting to whatever nature threw its way. But safety doesn't always roar. Sometimes it rides quietly like this next motorbike. Number 7, Honda CB1100EX. The Honda CB1100EX never tried to impress with speed or spectacle. It looked like a throwback, but beneath the retro shell was something more valuable: predictability, balance, and safety that didn't advertise itself. Equipped with dual-channel ABS and tuned for stability across the rev range, the CB1100EX became the quiet hero of standard motorcycles. There were no dangerous surprises hiding in the throttle, no twitchy handling waiting to punish small mistakes. The bike responded the way you hoped it would, even when conditions got rough. And it did it all, while looking like it had rolled out of a 1970s time capsule. Spoked wheels, steel frame, air-cooled inline-4. Nostalgia on the outside, modern safety on the inside. The low center of gravity gave the CB1100 a planted feel. The wide bars and relaxed geometry meant you didn't have to fight it into corners. It encouraged a calm rhythm, smooth inputs, steady lines, and clear reactions. It's not flashy, it's not fierce. But when you're on an unfamiliar road and the rain starts falling, that's exactly the bike you want under you. But what if you want something a little sharper, a little faster, but still built with your survival in mind? Number 8. BMW F900XR. The BMW F900XR doesn't flex, but delivers, mile after mile, corner after corner, through every twist, turn, and braking zone with quiet control. This isn't a luxury machine built for elite touring. It's a mid-sized sport tourer that proves you don't need to go big to be safe. BMW gave the F900XR the kind of electronic armor usually reserved for heavier, pricier models: cornering ABS, traction control, riding modes, LED visibility, all tuned to give you one thing: confidence. Confidence when the pavement changes. Confidence when the weather turns. Confidence when your reaction time needs just a little help. And that's exactly where this bike shines. Not just when everything goes right, but when something goes wrong. The systems don't replace the rider. They support them quietly and precisely. The riding modes are intuitive. They adjust the throttle, brakes, and traction profile so the bike feels like an extension of you. Not jerky, not robotic, just right. And then there's the physical setup: upright ergonomics, wind protection, and a manageable seat height that welcomes a wide range of riders. This is the kind of bike that makes beginners feel bold and veterans feel relaxed. What BMW did with the F900XR wasn't revolutionary, but it was important. They made high-end safety features accessible without making the bike feel clinical or cold. The F900XR delivered quiet confidence through high-tech stability. But when the road gets broken, wet, or unpredictable, this next bike steps up with 5 modes of control and a temperament tuned for survival. Number 9. Triumph Tiger 900 GT Pro. This motorcycle doesn't flinch when the pavement breaks up, the rain starts falling, or the traffic closes in. The Triumph Tiger 900 GT Pro was made to navigate the unpredictable, not just survive it, but master it. At the heart of its design is responsiveness, not just from the engine, but from everything around it. Cornering ABS, traction control, and a ride-by-wire throttle all come together to give you what most mid-range adventure bikes don't: precision. But Triumph didn't stop there. It offers 5 rider modes, each one dialing in exactly the right settings for the road beneath you. And if that road changes mid-ride, the Tiger 900 adjusts with you. This bike is smooth but not soft. It doesn't wrap you in a safety blanket. It gives you tools. And when you're leaning into a wet curve or braking hard at the bottom of a hill, those tools start to feel like instincts. That's what separates the Tiger 900 from the rest of the pack. It doesn't overwhelm you with tech. It empowers you with it. Everything works in the background until you need it. Then it steps forward, fast and quiet. The upright stance gives you visibility. The ergonomics reduce fatigue. The ride-by-wire input, seamless. The result? A machine that feels like it's reading the road with you, maybe even before you do. In a world where weather changes, traffic swells, and corners come fast, this is the bike that keeps you upright, alert, and always ready. But what happens when you take that same obsession with safety and supercharge it with pure tech dominance? The answer is the Ducati Multistrada 4. Number 10, Ducati Multistrada 4. The Ducati Multistrada 4 is one of the most technologically advanced motorcycles ever built, and every feature is aimed at keeping you alive. It starts with vision. The radar-based adaptive cruise control scans the road ahead and adjusts speed automatically, creating a bubble of protection even in high-speed traffic. And behind you, blind spot detection keeps tabs on what you can't see, warning you when it's not safe to change lanes. But safety doesn't end with awareness. It continues into action. Cornering ABS and traction control step in when grip is about to give out. They don't wait for the rider to react. They act in fractions of a second, using lean angle and speed data to stabilize the bike in real time. Underneath the digital armor, you still get Ducati's signature thrill, a powerful engine, sharp handling, that unmistakable Italian attitude. But now, it's wrapped in a level of rider protection most bikes can't come close to. The Multistrada 5.4 doesn't just make safety part of the experience, it makes it the framework for everything else. And that's what makes it special. It doesn't sacrifice excitement, it enhances it by eliminating the fear that usually comes with performance. This is more than just a motorcycle. It's a protective system on two wheels. The Multistrada built a digital fortress around its rider, using tech to guard against the unknown. But the next bike proves you don't need brute size to be safe. Number 11, Aprilia RS 660. Lightweight, sharp, fast, but surprisingly forgiving. The Aprilia RS 660 didn't enter the sport bike scene to intimidate. It came to offer something rare, performance you can actually learn on, with protection baked into every corner. At first glance, it looks like a purebred racer, and yes, it moves like one. But underneath the sleek lines is a full electronic suite, designed not just for speed, but for survival. Cornering ABS, traction control, wheelie control, and a quick shifter all come standard. Not optional, not extra standard, because Aprilia didn't want this bike to punish new riders for pushing their limits. They wanted it to catch you when you do. The magic of the RS 660 is how little it feels like it's doing, while doing everything. The power band is smooth and linear. The handling is razor tight. But the real story is what's going on behind the scenes. Lean, sensitive braking, real-time throttle monitoring, and subtle interventions keep things upright without stealing the fun. This isn't a neutered sport bike. It's a well-mannered weapon. For riders moving up from smaller machines, the RS 660 offers a rare window of safety in a segment known for overkill. You get track-ready performance, but with a safety net strong enough to build confidence, lap after lap. And even for experienced riders, it's fast enough to thrill, safe enough to trust, and smart enough to know the difference. But what if you're heading off the road completely onto gravel, dust, and altitude, and your machine still has to keep you safe? That's where one American icon made its boldest transformation yet. Number 12, Harley-Davidson Pan America 1250. The Pan America 1250 wasn't just Harley-Davidson's first adventure bike, it was a declaration. For a company rooted in tradition, this was a radical step. A full-blown ADV machine with cornering ABS, traction control, and semi-active suspension, all wrapped in rugged American steel. And it worked. The Pan America didn't just prove Harley could compete in the adventure space, it proved they could innovate. The semi-active suspension adjusts in real time, lowering the seat at stops to help shorter riders feel confident, then rising back up for maximum clearance when moving. Off-road, this isn't just convenient, it's safety. It helps keep the bike planted, stable, and manageable over unpredictable terrain. Cornering ABS and traction control add another layer of assurance. Whether you're climbing wet rock, descending loose gravel, or leaning into pavement curves, the bike constantly adapts to maintain grip and control. This isn't a stripped-down, thrill-seeking desert sled. It's a fully equipped survival tool with the heart of a Harley and the reflexes of a modern tech marvel. But maybe the most important part is how approachable it feels. Harley could have made this intimidating, overbuilt, oversized, overwrought. Instead, they made it smart, capable, and safe for real-world riders who want to explore without gambling. The Pan America redefined safety in the wild. But now we trade dust for asphalt and trust one of the fastest motorcycles in the world with MotoGP intelligence embedded in every move. Number 13, Honda CBR 1000 RRR Fireblade. The Honda CBR 1000 RRR Fireblade doesn't just borrow from MotoGP tech, it inherits it. This is Honda's flagship sport bike, built not to look safe, but to be safe, at speeds where safety is life or death. Everything here is precision calibrated. Every sensor, every gear change, every angle of lean. Cornering ABS, wheelie control, slide control, and traction control are standard, not as features to brag about, but as tools designed to survive the edge of physics. At full throttle, this bike will test your nerve. But what it won't do is betray you. When you dive into a corner at speed, the Fireblade watches your lean angle, your speed, your throttle input, and it adjusts in real time. It's not slowing you down, it's helping you survive what would have killed a rider a generation ago. What makes this machine special isn't just raw performance, it's how much of that performance you're actually allowed to use. The safety systems fade into the background when you're riding smooth, but the moment you lose grip, momentum, or balance, they're already saving you. This is a race bike that knows how to protect its rider, not by softening the ride, but by giving you more margin for error when the limits come fast. Because when you're cornering at speed with nothing but your skill and a sliver of road, sometimes the difference between walking away and wiping out comes down to engineering. But what if you're not chasing podiums, predictable terrain? There's one bike built for that too, and just this out. Number 14, KTM 1290 Super Adventure S. Adventure riding doesn't ask if the road is smooth, it asks if you're ready when it isn't. And the KTM 1290 Super Adventure S is ready for everything. Cornering ABS, adaptive cruise control, semi-active WP suspension. It's armored with features that don't just react, they adapt. This isn't your weekend ride. This is a long-distance warrior with the brains of a touring bike and the guts of a rally machine. KTM knew that when you're 1,000 miles into a trip, comfort isn't luxury, it's survival. Fatigue makes mistakes. Discomfort causes distraction. So the Super Adventures fights both. The suspension actively adjusts itself in real time. The adaptive cruise keeps your distance in traffic or mountain switchbacks. The traction control works with lean sensors to help keep grip even when conditions change mid-turn. It doesn't just ride. It calculates, learns, reacts, and it never stops trying to keep you upright. Even the physical design reinforces control. Upright posture, wide bars, narrow waistline. It's built to respond instantly to your inputs and to the road's surprises. But the most impressive thing? How invisible the safety feels until you need it. You're still riding, still navigating, still fully in control. But behind you is a network of systems that act when you can't. Systems that quietly shield you from consequences you may never see coming. That's what real safety looks like in the adventure world. So far, we've seen bikes that protect on dirt, pavement, and the racetrack. But the final entry doesn't shout, it doesn't race, it doesn't intimidate, and yet, it might be the most honest expression of safety on two wheels. Number 15, Suzuki GSX-S 1000 GT. The Suzuki GSX-S 1000 GT doesn't need a radar dome or championship pedigree to earn its place here. It was built for riders who want one simple thing: full control without complication. On paper, it's a sport tourer, but underneath it has all the right balance. Cornering ABS, quick shifter, traction control, ride mode selection, all seamlessly tuned to give you confidence, not clutter. What makes the GSX-S 1000 GT special is how natural it feels. Every system supports you without ever taking over. No sudden interventions, no overbearing electronics, just smooth, responsive power, and safety that fades into the background. The power delivery is linear, the throttle is predictable, and the brakes are confident without being grabby. It gives you exactly what you ask for, and nothing you didn't. That might sound simple, even boring, but it's not. In a world of overcomplicated dashboards and systems that feel like they're second-guessing the rider, Suzuki built something rare, a bike that respects your instincts and has your back when they falter. And in the end, isn't that what safety should be? Not just systems, not just features, but trust. Some bikes chase speed. These ones protected it. If you've ever ridden something that made you feel untouchable or saved you from a mistake you'll never forget, tell us about it below. And if you believe smart design still matters, hit like, subscribe, and stay with us for what's coming next.